It's been so long since I've touched the soil, smelled the wild flowers growing. Old dirt roads and long country miles mean the world to my heart.
For lunch, we head to Union Hall, located next to Sir William Johnson's statue at Union Place. This post-revolutionary tavern was built in 1798 by Captain Jean-Baptiste Salmon de Fontclair, an officer in the French army under Louis XVI.
Drive down Main Street here in Johnstown and make sure to stop at Union Hall. It has been here since the 18th century. The King of Spain was in this very room, and the food here is absolutely out of this world. Everything, from beginning to end, and the things here are homemade, including the desserts and including the ice cream, even including the hot fudge. So you come here and I tell you, without any doubt, indulge yourself. It came as no surprise to me that Megan and her fiancé, Lauren, are both graduates of the Culinary Institute of America. And Megan's father, Kim, can be rightfully proud of both of them.
About 4 years ago, the local plant, which was owned by Universal Music, decided to get out of the record manufacturing business. And I was looking for something to do. My daughter, who had just graduated from the Culinary Institute, said, why don't we open a restaurant? So we found this one for sale and purchased it, and we've been here ever since. It's been very interesting to look up some of the history of the building. It was built by a general who was a general for Napoleon, and one of his friends was the King of Spain, who used to visit here regularly. And Sir William Johnson, obviously, was also a guest here. And when you think about every president in the U.S. was in office when this building existed, it's very interesting.
Growing up, it was always fun with my dad. We would make dinner for everybody, and he always did the main meal part of it, and I'd help him with that. But then, of course, I was always the kid at the dinner table that had to have dessert when they were done with dinner. So I got into the dessert end of things, and as I was in my later years of high school, I decided to start looking professionally at doing it. I got my first, I guess you could call it, break. One of the local restaurants in Northville started carrying my desserts, and that kind of just made me, realize that I really had a passion for doing this and that I wanted to pursue it and go to school for this and do it full time. Lauren was the sous chef under the former owner here at the Union Hall when we took over the business. He was great and decided to stay on with us as the new ownership. He's also a Culinary Institute graduate. He was there about 5 years before I was, so I didn't actually meet him during school, but and he's had many great accomplishments since he's gone through school. He worked here for quite a few years. He's worked for the Friends Lake Inn. He's been all over and seen a lot of great food. Art and food is just, it's such a major, key, important role that you have to have with your food, because people do eat your food with their eyes long before it gets anywhere near their mouth. So to have that beautiful, breathtaking plate, it's another part of why we do this, why we are so into the food, is you love to see the reaction that people give you, no matter what it may be, the surprise, just the sheer pleasure that they get out of seeing the food before they even taste it. So it's a major role.
Union Hall Inn is open for lunch Tuesday through Friday and dinner Tuesday through Saturday. This week, Mohawk Valley Living fans receive Megan's famous chocolate flourless cake, free with your dinner entree. Overlooking historic downtown is the Fulton County Courthouse. It is the only colonial courthouse in New York State, and one of the oldest in the nation still in use as a courthouse.
Well, basically because Sir William Johnson wanted to extend his influence. And I believe it was 1769, he first petitioned the colonial government to set a county aside, which of course would be literally his county in the influence sense. And they dawdled and fiddled around with it until 1772 and finally passed it. And he very smartly decided to name it Tryon County after the colonial governor, because by doing that he got the colonial governor's favor, you know, and they pushed the process along. So he got his county. And of course, when you have a county, you naturally are going to have a legal system set up. So they needed two things right away. They needed the courthouse, where we are now, and they needed the jail. Because what good's a courthouse without a jail? But it is on a format that would have been typical of a courthouse of that time. There's some debate as to whether the bricks were made locally or were actually brought in as ship's ballast. I tend to feel they were made locally because we didn't have all the materials here, and Sir William Johnson speaks about having brick makers. He also furnished, during the summer of 1772, when it was being built, 25 gallons of rum to the workers. And so I guess we're pretty lucky that it's all straight and on an even keel, because that was pretty powerful rum in those days. The bell in the steeple actually is not a bell. It's an extremely large triangle, and it has a gong which hits it. In fact, there's a rope just on the other side of the wall back there that you can pull. Originally, they did not have that. You would have somebody who would go up there and hit it good and hard. And that is thought to have been made locally right around here. It does not give a beautiful dulcet tone. It gives kind of a dull sound that you really wouldn't hear probably at the other end of the downtown. But it served its official purpose of notifying people. And on the frontier, you didn't exactly have people casting bells. Bells were very hard to get. They were made in Philadelphia. And I suspect that if Sir William had lived longer and the Revolution had not come about, they probably would have gotten a very fine bell for the courthouse at an earlier time period. But they never did, and we still have it, and we still hit it on ceremonial occasions.
This courthouse is so full of history. As a matter of fact, Aaron Burr tried cases here. You'll recall that Aaron Burr is the fellow who challenged Alexander Hamilton to a duel, and he won the duel because Hamilton died. I also find it intriguing that this, the hometown of Elizabeth Cady Stanton, is also the place now where the first female is serving as a county court judge. And beyond that, when you come into this courtroom, you have to realize that this building was erected in 1772, which was before the American Revolution. So when they opened court here in the morning, it would be with "God Save the King."
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley, we're going on a road trip. Go on.